So it's first you get a piece of wood board. Very typical format is 60 by 60 centimeters. Uh, but you put a layer of wax. The original typical wax that's been used is the Campeche beeswax. It's quite hard, but you know spread it out evenly, and then oftentimes the artist will then use some kind of instrument to draw out the figures. Maimi Benitez, Jose's daughter, she just freestyles, but typically those will be kind of stenciled out in a way, and then you apply the thread. And the thread, the way it gets applied, it really depends on each given artist. Tutuquila, who is one of the artists, Tiburcio Carrillo Sandoval, kind of one of the major artists, also from the same era as Benitez, he would just use one thread and work with that until he finished a particular area. Other people work in different ways, but yeah, that's the basic application, right? And then that's it. You don't add anything on top of the thread. They're sensitive to heat. The original first couple of decades of yarn paintings were done with beeswax and wool yarn, and so also moths. Moths love the wool. Nowadays, you tend to not be able to find that same beeswax. Definitely very difficult to find anybody working with wool yarn, and so they use different kinds of acrylic yarns. Some recent artists have been talking to me about crystal thread. So it gets different feel. The wax may be now beeswax mixed with a synthetic adhesive. So the materials themselves have changed, and I think it's important to note that in the first period of production, so starting with Soto Soria and the Franciscans, but then also Peter First and my father Juan Negrín, they made sure to provide the materials to the artists. So I know that's one of the questions that oftentimes the audience may have. Where do these threads come from? Are they natural dyes? No, the emergence of these paintings comes at a time when natural dyes started to fade away in use, unfortunately. But also these are yarns that were brought from urban places, and so they're very colorful, they're very bright. Nowadays, with a lot of the acrylic yarns, you see even kind of, a lot of different elements within the yarn. So there's an interest in having these bright colors that aren't necessarily natural dyes.